That helps, but I don't know. 35 is definitely not old, but it's so true that once you hit the age, that's when you're like, okay. Well,
but when you're a teen, you start thinking 20s, and then that number keeps going up as you get older.
Well, let me ask you this: was this written by our producers? Because yesterday we had this conversation. You were here, Amy, I think, for this. And one of our producers found out I was 35, so I feel like they're just wanting me to know you're officially old.
Maybe that's what they're saying.
Yeah, I'm right over the line, apparently.
I would say once the production staff could technically be your children, that's when you know, like that. Yeah.
Yeah, when you have those moments, yeah.
Well, we want to thank you so much for joining us today for Good Day Orlando Extra. We are continuing to monitor the situation in Gainesville. The Alachua County Sheriff's Office has now taken over. They say they have created a media staging area. The suspect is still barricaded in an apartment there, but the UF campus is safe and secure. They just made sure that they sort of evacuated the HR building there on campus.
We'll continue to follow that. Enjoy the rest of your day. We'll see you back here tomorrow. Good Day Orlando starts at 4 a.m. We'll see you then.
You're watching Fox 35 News Plus, streaming on Fox Local.
Well, good morning to you and welcome into Fox 35 News Plus. I am Garrett Weimer and thanks for joining us on this Tuesday morning live on Fox Local and on YouTube. We've got a lot to get to. I want to let you know some of what we are keeping an eye on this morning. We are monitoring this news conference going on right now. That is U.S. Senator Markwayne Mullin, who is speaking alongside the U.S. Health and Human Services Secretary, RFK Jr., and some FDA officials talking about new actions that the FDA is taking on the dangerous opioid 7-OH. So we are monitoring this, trying to see what the further action they will take on that. We know earlier this month the FDA sent warning letters to a number of companies for illegally marketing products containing that. So we are keeping an eye on that. I want to give you another live look right now inside a courtroom in Orange County where the trial for Lawrence Dority is going on. We are in a break right now. The jury has been excused for a few minutes, and they are in a break for a few minutes this morning. We did hear opening arguments today, though, or opening statements, I should say. This is for the trial of Lawrence Dority, who's accused of shooting and killing former Orlando Magic player Adreian Payne back in May of 2022. shot after trying to break up a domestic dispute, according to investigators. Now, Dority claims that he acted in self-defense. He is claiming a defense under Florida's Stand Your Ground law, so something we're watching closely in this trial. Again, we did hear from both attorneys in opening statements. I'm going to play part of that for you in just a second. We did just a few minutes ago hear from a couple of witnesses, including those who responded to the scene. The first witness was the deputy who responded to the scene, found Payne shot. We saw evidence photos. They also played body camera video from that, and then most recently heard from a crime scene investigator showing photos of the crime scene, showed the gun that investigators say was used to shoot Payne. So that is a trial that we are watching very closely, and I do want to go ahead and start here by playing for you a portion of the prosecution's opening statements from inside the courtroom just a little bit ago.
On May 9th of 2022, this defendant shot and killed Adreian Payne. Now you're going to hear the evidence in this case, and it's going to show that this defendant was not acting in self-defense. He was not standing his ground. So you're going to hear through the witnesses and evidence in this case that the defendant was driven home that night about 1:30 a.m. by his father. He had been in an argument with his girlfriend, Tatiana Mesa. They were at a family party at the defendant's father's house. You're going to hear that Tatiana Mesa, the defendant's girlfriend, called her best friend, Tara Walker, who is the victim's girlfriend, and asked if she could come over to the residence. Tara Walker speaks with her boyfriend, the victim in this case, and he decides to come to the residence or the area of the residence as well as backup. They all get there. Well, I guess the defendant arrives before Tara Walker, but she arrives shortly after, and the victim is already in his vehicle, parked on the street when he arrives. So the defendant had previously known the vehicle, as you're going to hear in the evidence, and he goes up and exchanges words. He's upset. You're going to hear from Tara Walker that the defendant appeared to be intoxicated at the time. Again, he didn't drive himself to his home. His father had driven him to his house that night. There's words exchanged, but that's not the point that the shooting happens. He takes the time, he goes inside, and he arms himself with the firearm. Now, you're going to hear from the medical examiner in this case, Dr. Marie Hansen, and she's going to tell you that the cause of death was the gunshot wound that went through the arm and the torso in this case, and that the manner of death was determined to be homicide. You're going to hear from several witnesses in the case, the primary one being Tara Walker, who was present and witnessed the shooting. And she's going to let you know, as I said, that the defendant appeared to be intoxicated, that he was upset, that he was belligerent. And I expect that you're also going to see some surveillance footage in this case. Now, the surveillance doesn't capture the incident itself, but there's a camera that's near a neighbor's camera that you can hear the shooting itself on the surveillance footage, and you can see the aftermath. And on that footage, you're going to be able to hear Tara Walker pleading with this defendant. Don't take your gun out. Don't take your gun out. We were called here. Don't take your gun out. You're going to see the defendant doesn't listen. He takes his gun out, he takes aim, and all in this moment, he shoots the victim and kills him. Now, after that, you're going to see Tara Walker run to the area where the surveillance camera is located, and you're going to see the defendant's son, Adreian Dority, is running with her, and then ultimately the defendant comes out and calls his son into the house. Now, you're going to hear from Tara Walker, and she's going to tell you the victim didn't have a weapon, that he didn't threaten a weapon. The evidence in this case will be clear. This is not a case of self-defense. This is not a case of someone standing their ground. As was discussed in jury selection, in a self-defense or stand your ground situation, the facts matter. And the facts in this case are not someone defending themselves. They're someone being the aggressor, taking aggressive action, arming themselves, and committing a murder. And once you've heard the evidence in the
That was the prosecutor with, talking very directly about what happened, saying it was a murder. It was not self-defense. It was not standing. Dority was not standing his ground. We also heard opening statements from the defense attorney representing Lawrence Dority, and here is some of what he said.
This is a very simple case. Okay? This is a case about self-defense. And not just self-defense of oneself, but we're talking about self-defense of one's family. Okay? Please pay close attention to the facts in this case. Every fact is very important. May 9th, 2022, Lawrence Dority was celebrating Mother's Day with his family at his father's house, not very far from where this incident occurred. Okay? When he decided to leave, his father drives him home. Okay? Mr. Larry Dority is the driver, Lawrence Dority is a passenger, and his 10-year-old son is a passenger in the back seat compartment. Unknown to him, unexpected, as he arrives home, he observes a black Chevy, blacked out tinted window Chevy now parked outside his car, lights, headlights on, car running. Okay? Out of concern, he starts to walk over to the car, and he starts to realize the car looks familiar to him. He believes it's the car of his long-term friend, maybe Sarah Walker. So this is the car she has been very months. It must be 6 months at a time. Mr. Dority didn't know that was her car. He didn't know there was a boy in the car. He walks up, then tinted window rolls down. One can't see inside his car. It's 1:30 in the morning. It's dark out. Window rolls down. Mr. Dority asks, "Why are you here?" You want to know what happens next? Evidence will show that 6'8", at least 6'8", according to the medical examiner, he's 80 inches tall. Just like 6'8", now she's tall. Steps out of the car, wingspan of 7 foot. With a threatening posture, steps out. "I'm smoking. What you want to do? What you want to do?" Mr. Dority immediately retreats to his home, gets his firearm. Evidence to show that he's a concealed weapon permit holder. Evidence to show he didn't go with the trouble. Trouble came with him. Okay? His son is outside. He can't even make it into the house state. He walks back out. But before that, he's still asking, "Why are you here?" You need to leave. Guess what happened next, ladies and gentlemen? Mr. Dority, after being threatened, walks into his home. He comes back out, and instead of Mr. Payne, the first one is Mr. Payne. His name is Adreian Payne. Mr. Dority didn't know that. He only knew that somebody named Adreian. He didn't know him personally. He didn't know him at all. Right? As he comes back out, not only did Mr. Payne not leave, but he pulls the car a little closer to this home. So he had the opportunity to leave. And the evidence to show that his girlfriend, Sarah Walker, actually told him to leave. She had arrived at the tail end of the verbal altercation. The evidence to show she wasn't even present when Mr. Dority approached to ask him to see who he was. You heard testimony that she's going to say she's on the ball. She would admit to you that she told him not to come to the house. He did it anyway. The evidence to show he didn't even know where Mr. Dority lived. He circled around the neighborhood to find, he found Mr. Dority's car. He was familiar with the safety pins or whatever it is. Right? Mr. Dority comes back out, asks him to leave again. Not just that, why are you here? Simultaneously, as Mr. Payne is reaching, Mr. Dority fires one shot, not to kill, but to repel the threat. Evidence would show that bullet pierced through the bicep into his chest. Only then he got back in the car. He was still standing outside the car. Okay? What did Mr. Dority do then? He didn't flee. He immediately got his son, told him to get in the house, called law enforcement, reported to them what happened. Okay? He cooperated with the investigation.
That was the opening statements. And now we'll give you a live look inside the courtroom right now as a neighbor with a surveillance camera is testifying. I do believe they may be about to show that video. Let's go ahead and listen in for a minute here live inside the courtroom.
Yes.
At this time, the state offers an evidence of previously one for identification as a state death.
Any objections?
No objection, Your Honor.
What's been marked as previously as State's Exhibit F for identification were received into evidence without objection as State's 9.
It was a publication. Now, you yourself weren't a witness to any incident, right? You just located the footage?
Yeah, no. At that time, we were up because I have a son that at that time was 4 months old. He wake up to be fed. So basically, we were about to get back to sleep, and we hear the gunshots. And I wasn't really sure, so I have to open the app and hear that. So, yeah. And then the next morning, an officer knocked at my door. He asked if the camera captured the moment. So I said yes. And he requested that video.
So hearing the shot is what caused you to go and look at your camera to see if it captured anything. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, correct.
All right. I don't have any further questions. Thank you.
Rose?
Yes, briefly, Your Honor. Good morning, sir. How are you doing today?
Good morning.
You stated, so isn't it true you didn't actually see the verbal altercation that transpired outside?
Yeah, that's correct.
Did you hear the altercation?
No, I mean, I just hear the gunshots, and then when I open the app, I could hear the altercation through the video.
So you were able to hear the altercation when you looked at your video, correct?
Correct.
So you agree it was an actual verbal altercation prior to a shooting, correct?
Correct.
All right. And the videos that you provided to law enforcement, how many videos were there?
Just one.
Just one. Was it one long video, or was it, like, do you recall?
No, probably it was about a minute long.
10 minutes long?
1 minute.
1 minute long?
Yeah.
Okay. And isn't it true the video that you provided to law enforcement doesn't actually capture Mr. Lawrence Dority and Mr. Payne in any frame of the video?
No, it doesn't show that.
So essentially, it just shows a headlight illuminating in the area, an argument occurring, and then a gunshot, correct?
Yeah, but it's basically the audio what the police was interested in.
Thank you. No further questions.
You redirect?
No, Your Honor.
The witness step down?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, thank you, sir.
We're going to take a break here on Fox 35 News Plus as the neighbor is stepping down from the witness stand. There's a look at Lawrence Dority, charged with second-degree murder in this case, now on trial. We're going to take a break on Fox 35 News Plus, but we'll be right back after this.
You're watching Fox 35 News Plus, streaming on Fox Local.
Welcome back into Fox 35 News Plus. I want to give you a live look again inside the courtroom here as Lawrence Dority is on trial, accused of killing former Orlando Magic player Adreian Payne back in May of 2022. The witness now on the stand is Tara Helena Walker. She was Adreian Payne's girlfriend at the time. She described knowing Lawrence Dority for about 15 years. He was her best friend's boyfriend. She's testifying right now, talking about, just now, getting ready to talk about what happened that night. So let's go ahead and listen back in as this trial continues live.
Have any children in common?
Yes.
How many?
1.
So I want to take you back to the early morning hours, sort of after midnight on May 9th of 2022. Did you ever go to the defendant's neighborhood in the early morning hours of May 9th, 2022?
Yes.
When you arrived in that area, where did you go specifically?
In the middle of the street.
What vehicle were you in?
My car. I was in an Audi Q5.
And was the area you went to, was that Egret Shores Drive area?
Yes.
And is that in Orange County?
Yes.
Now, why is it that you decided to go to that area?
Tatiana had texted me and asked me to meet her at her house in 15 minutes.
Okay. And so did you agree to do that?
Yes.
And was your understanding that she had been in an argument?
Objection as to leading.
Your Honor, can we approach?
The attorney said, discussing with Judge Greg Tynan this line of questioning, what investigators had said before was that there was some sort of domestic dispute that ended up leading to this, that brought over Tara and Adreian Payne to that townhome on Egret Shores Drive in Orlando on that night in May of 2022. So some of the discussion right now, you heard the prosecutor trying to ask Payne's girlfriend as to whether her best friend, had been in an argument. The objection from the defense attorney. The defense attorney is the one you see on the left there. Prosecutor, you see on the right, both discussing now with the judge. Again, Dority has been in the courtroom today. We saw him earlier when they were showing some of the body-worn camera video of the deputy who found Payne shot on the scene inside the car. Dority was sitting at the defendant's table with his head in his hands as that body-worn camera played, trying not to look at the screen for much of that. So this trial is expected to last several days. We know there are about, I think, 8 witnesses that the prosecution intends to call. Unsure exactly how many the defense intends to call, but the jury selection took just about all day yesterday. Opening statements this morning, and now you see this prolonged discussion between the judge and the attorneys in this case, as Adreian Payne's girlfriend is on the stand right now, had just begun testifying in this case, and getting ready to talk about what happened that night. Was just getting into what brought them over to that area in the moments before the shooting. We also heard from the neighbor just a little bit ago who had the surveillance camera that you did hear him discuss some of the things that were captured on that. Some of the moments surrounding it, you don't see any of the actual incident. So let's go ahead and listen back in as this trial continues live in Orange County.
So you said you had received a call from your friend Tatiana Mesa?
A text message, yes.
And your understanding was that she had some sort of argument with the defendant?
Correct.
And so you agreed to meet her at the residence?
Correct.
So at some point after speaking with Tatiana, did you have any kind of contact with Adreian Payne?
I did, yes.
Can you describe that contact?
He was on his way back to my house. It's Mother's Day night. He had left and he was coming back. And I told him that I was going to go to Tatiana's house to see what was going on, that she had asked me to come to her house and that she had called the police.
Your Honor, hearsay, your approach.
Another objection there. We are going to go ahead and take another break here on Fox 35 News Plus, but we'll be right back, get you right back inside the courtroom as the testimony continues in the trial of Lawrence Dority.
You're watching Fox 35 News Plus, streaming on Fox Local.
Welcome back into Fox 35 News Plus. The judge just a moment ago sustaining that objection that was made by the defense, and they struck that last comment from the record. I'm not sure what is happening now. Now, there is one more thing. The jury was just sent out, still trying to address one more issue here. So the jury is outside of the courtroom right now, which gives us a good time to go ahead and check the weather while they figure that out. Let's give you a live look right now at downtown Orlando. You see Lake Eola on this hot and humid Tuesday morning. Fox 35 Storm Team meteorologist Jessica Dobson joins me now. And Jess, not often we're talking about extreme heat warnings, but here we are.
Yeah, this is the first one we've had since about 2023, and these are not very common for us to see, which is all the more reason why, yes, it's hot, but this is a little unusual for us in Central Florida. So that's why today is a Fox 35 weather impact day for the intense heat that we're going to be having, especially as we get closer towards this afternoon with highs. Really, they're going to be approaching the upper 90s and even the low 100s for a couple of spots. And we're going to be coming close to maybe tying or even breaking some records for a few spots. So today we've got a high of 99 degrees in Orlando. The previous record was 99 degrees set back in 1949, so that was about 76 years ago, and it's only going to go up from here in terms of temperatures for many spots across Central Florida. When it comes to the heat index, and that's what we mean in terms of up from here, it's what it feels like once we factor in the humidity. It is going to be anywhere from around 108 to as high as 115. And that is the reason why the National Weather Service did upgrade us from an extreme heat watch and also that heat advisory up to an extreme heat warning, because we are going to see those feels like temperatures, that heat index in that threshold. The only exception being Brevard County, and there will be a little bit more of a breeze due to the East Coast sea breeze across that area, but they could still be upgraded before today is all said and done with. But we will see a little bit in the way of some relief from the heat and humidity. That's going to be largely due to the fact that we do have a couple of showers on the way for today. It's just not going to be a ton of relief. It's going to be one of those days where it rains, it'll cool it off for a little bit with some clouds overhead, and then once the sun comes back out, it's like it's even hotter than it was before. So that's what we're going to be kind of seeing today. Only a little bit in the way of some rain-cooled air will be benefiting us, but by 2 o'clock, we'll begin to see a couple of these showers and storms bubble up on the radar. By 4 o'clock, they'll continue to grow a little more scattered, and we'll see about a 40% chance of rain today. And you'll see that all the way through 6, 7 p.m. today. And I really think best chances of rain will be in Osceola County, but also across areas right along and maybe even north and west of I-4. So that does include, much of Orange County, also Volusia County, Seminole, and also I do think a lot of Lake and Sumter counties. They're both going to see a pretty good shot. You all will both see a pretty good shot at seeing some of these showers and storms today. It's not going to be a complete and total washout. After sunset, a lot of these will fade and dissipate. As far as the next 3 days go, though, we're going to be expecting temperatures to dial back by a couple of degrees. Not nearly as much relief as what we would prefer, but we're going to see a little bit. 97 degrees will be our high tomorrow, about a 50% chance of showers and storms. 96 for our Thursday and Friday, up to a 60% chance of rain. And the big reason being this large area of high pressure. These can be really relentless. It's hard to shake this pattern, but it is going to shift subtly to the west, and that will allow for more of a sea breeze setup as we get closer towards the rest of this week, really, as we head into Friday. That is going to allow for better chances of showers and storms, meaning we have more of an East Coast and West Coast sea breeze.
We can check back in with Jessica later. I do need to get you back inside the courtroom here as Adreian Payne's girlfriend, Tara Helena Walker, is talking about the shooting and what happened that night. Let's go ahead and listen back in as this trial continues.
Yeah, so we were about 7 houses down from his house, so he walked through the back, like on the grass, maybe around his backyard.
Okay. And then you have a conversation with Adreian?
Correct. He walks over to me. He walks in the middle. Larry is still there. He's getting into his car. They kind of just like nod heads. He gets in his car. He reverses and he pulls to the front of the driveway. Adreian's talking to me. I asked him, "Are you okay, babe?" He said, "Yeah." "Are you okay?" And I said, "Yeah." "Go back to your car and just pull up, and I'm going to park right here," which was like guest parking on the side of the house.
And did he go back to his car?
He did, yes.
Now, in that interaction that you had with him, did you observe him to be armed with any firearm?
No.
Did you observe him to be armed with any other weapons, like a knife or anything like that?
No.
And so does Adreian actually go back to his vehicle?
Correct. He walks back to his car. I park my car where I say I'm going to park it. He pulls up to the spot where we were originally at, where Larry and myself was located.
So he pulled the car up to that spot?
Correct.
Now, that spot, where was that in location to the defendant's residence?
So we were in front of someone's house and across the street, and then it's the townhome. So there's one house and then their house.
Okay.
So stop sign, their house, and then his house.
And so at some point, did the defendant come back outside of his residence?
Correct.
Are you able to estimate about how long that was? Obviously, I know you didn't have a stopwatch on you.
I know it wasn't less than 30 seconds. I mean, it had to have been like a minute and a half, maybe. It was somewhere.
At some point, did the defendant come back outside of his house?
He did.
Okay. When did you first notice that he had come back outside of his house?
So I parked my car. I walked over to Adreian. He opened his car door. He stuck his left leg out. I thought he was getting out the car. He had his hand on the steering wheel. And I said, "Babe, don't get out the car. I'm going to go see what's going on with Tatiana." And I turned around. I probably took about 5 steps, and then I seen Lawrence coming from in between the cars. Like there was another car and then a Mercedes, which is his car, and he had his arm under his shirt, and he came to the edge of it. I stopped. I asked him not to draw his weapon. What was he doing? His dad was asking, what was he doing, son?
Hearsay.
Sustained.
Without getting into what anybody else was saying, what did you observe?
He came down to the end with a gun under his shirt. He took the gun out of his shirt. I asked him not to raise his weapon. I started to yell his name, Lawrence. And then from there, he asked us he asked, why are you here? He asked a couple times, maybe like 2 to 3 times. And I tried to explain to him, Tatiana asked me to be here.
Okay. And so at some point after he's walked out, he's now taken his firearm out.
Yeah.
And where was he when he had the firearm out? How far was he from Adrian's vehicle?
Not far. He was at the end of their street. I mean, at the end of the grass, the neighbors. So I don't know how to explain it unless I show you.
Walked down. Let me have a photo here. Your Honor, this is in evidence of State 5.
Okay.
And then just point at the screen where Adrian's vehicle is located.
Right here.
Okay. Now, with the laser pointer, if you could just sort of circle an area where the defendant was when he fired the shot. So he had walked a few places down from his residence. Is that fair to say?
Objection as to leading, Your Honor.
Sustained.
Move to strike.
Well, no answer has been given. You can rephrase.
So if you could just, with that laser pointer, can you circle where the defendant's residence was? Okay. And then if you could just sort of walk down with a laser pointer showing the jury where the defendant walked to at the time he fired the shot. And is he on the grass area?
Correct. Yes.
Okay. Now, you had some interaction, you said, with the defendant as he came back out?
Correct.
Were you able to observe his demeanor?
Yes.
What was his demeanor like? Was he even-keeled? Was he upset?
It seemed like he was intoxicated.
Overruled.
He appeared to be intoxicated to you?
Correct. Yes.
Now, after the defendant shot Mr. Payne, what happened from there?
I turned around to run towards Adrian or, get to him. His dad grabbed me and spun me around and told me that I needed to run.
It's not offered for the truth of the matter asserted. It's direct.
We're not going to have the arguments in front of the jury either, so let's come on up.
Adreian Payne's girlfriend speaking there, talking about what happened that night. You saw her pointing out with the laser pointer where Dority was when he, according to investigators, fired the shot, and she was showing how far he would have walked out of his townhome to that location. The prosecution trying to show that this was not a matter of self-defense, that he wasn't standing his ground. That is what the defense is claiming. You see Dority there, who was the boyfriend of Tara Helena Walker, who's testifying now, her best friend. That they had known each other for 15 years. Let's go ahead and listen back in here live on Fox 35 News Plus.
Okay, so after the shooting, you were saying what happened next. You can continue.
I spun around, turned around to get to Adreian. Lawrence's father grabbed me, spun me around, and told me I needed to run, to grab Havian and run.
Did you do that?
I did. I walked over, I tried to run, my legs felt like bricks. I went to him, I opened the car door, he jumped into my arms. He was already crying. I put him down because I couldn't carry him, and I told him to run. So we started to run. Larry ran over to Adreian.
Okay. Now, let me stop you there. So you run after this, and you run a few houses down. Is that fair?
Yes.
Have you had an opportunity to see some surveillance footage that shows you after sort of running down, also that captures the audio of the shooting?
Yes.
Let the record reflect I'm showing opposing counsel with the mark for identification as State G. Permission to approach? Let the record reflect that I'm showing witness with the mark for identification as State G. Do you recognize this?
Yes.
How do you recognize it?
My initials.
Is it a fair and accurate depiction of what was captured in it?
Yes.
At this time, the state offers an evidence which was previously marked for identification as State G.
Any objection?
No objection, Your Honor.
All right. What's been marked as State's Exhibit G for identification without objection will be received into evidence as State's 10.
And Your Honor, if I could just have a moment to set up the player.
We do expect that at this point they are getting ready to show some of that surveillance video that we heard the neighbor describe. You won't see any of the incident. You will hear some things, likely some language as well in that. I'm trying to remember from what we have seen of this, but we do want to caution you that the viewer discretion is advised. This is a live court hearing, and obviously some potential for some disturbing audio in that video that they are getting ready to play. You see Tara Helena Walker, Adreian Payne's girlfriend there, who is testifying, appearing to be dealing with a lot of emotions right now, as you might understand, in a situation like this, as she's having to testify 3 years later in connection with the death of her boyfriend. So let's go ahead and listen back into court. They're getting ready to show this video here on Fox 35 News Plus, and we will again just use discretion as you watch this, and we do want to warn you that there could be some language as well.
Now publishing States 10.
You can see the tears in her eyes seeing that video again. In the aftermath, you could hear the single gunshot. You could hear lots of screaming in the aftermath of that as well. We've got to take a break here on Fox 35 News Plus if you're watching on Fox Local, but we'll be right back after this.
You're watching Fox 35 News Plus, streaming on Fox Local.
Welcome back into Fox 35 News Plus, continuing to hear testimony from the girlfriend of Adreian Payne, who was shot and killed in May of 2022. Lawrence Dority, who is charged with second-degree murder, is on trial. His trial is underway right now in Orange County. We just saw surveillance video where you could not see what happened, but could hear a single gunshot and see some of the aftermath of what happened. Let's go ahead and listen back in as the prosecutor continues to question Payne's girlfriend.
The voice that we hear sort of at the beginning of that, and I'm going to turn it back up, but as much as I can. Is that your voice again?
Correct, yes.
And is that sort of a different camera that caught sort of the same audio or similar audio to the other surveillance that we just reviewed?
Yes.
Now, obviously, on the video, On the video that we just watched, we saw you sort of run by to that neighbor's residence.
Yes.
After that video ends, what do?
I run down a little further, and I'm banging on doors.
At any point, did you go back to, how long after that would you estimate that law enforcement arrived?
Oh, I don't know. It felt like forever.
At any point, did you go back to the area where Adreian was located, where his vehicle was located?
Yes, I heard Larry.
I don't want you to get into anything that anybody else said. I just want you to tell me what you did.
I ran back.
Okay, so you went back to that vehicle?
I did.
Okay. And then what did you do when you got back to the vehicle?
I went to the driver's side. I put my keys on top of the car, and I looked to see if he was alive.
Okay. Did he appear to you to be alive?
No. So
What did you do from there?
I ran around to the passenger side. I tried to readjust his head because he was leaning over into the middle with his head up, and I needed to fix him so I could try to do compressions because I couldn't get him out the car.
Okay, and then so you go around the passenger, you open the passenger side door.
I do.
And then what happens from there after you try to reposition his head?
I start the compressions. I'm telling Larry.
Sorry to stop you. You're trying to do the compressions in the vehicle?
In the vehicle. We can't get him out.
Okay. Then what happens?
I tell Larry, you have to help me. He's not breathing no more. And he starts screaming. He leans down, and he starts doing them with me. So we're both pushing on his chest.
And then, so you're there with Larry. Are y'all there with the vehicle and with Adreian trying to render aid to him?
Yes.
Until law enforcement arrived?
Yes.
At any point, did you observe a firearm in the vehicle?
No.
Overruled. Calls for yes or no answer.
No.
Now, let me show you a photo. This is again in evidence and safety deposit 5. You recognize this?
Yes.
What is this a photo of?
My kitchen knife.
And is this from Adrian's vehicle, the passenger side?
Yes.
Why, if you know, was this knife there?
Objection is speculation, Your Honor, and lack of foundation.
Overruled. The question was why, if you know.
You can answer.
I put it there.
And
I'm sorry, what was the answer?
I put it there.
And why was the knife there?
We had went to dinner before he'd left overseas.
Okay, so you had put the knife there previously?
Correct, yes.
And it's from dinner?
Yes, correct.
And had you left the knife in the vehicle?
Objection is leading, Your Honor.
Overruled.
Had you left the knife in the vehicle?
Yes, I did.
About how long before this incident was this?
Maybe 4 months. He went overseas. I was driving his car. He was only home for, okay.
So about 4 months?
Yes.
And then he had been obviously not around his vehicle.
Objection is counsel testifying, Your Honor.
Sustained.
You had stated that shortly after this, he was away, is that right?
Correct.
And then how long before this incident had he been back?
19 days.
All right. So that knife that we just saw the picture of, at any point during this incident, did you see Adreian with that knife on his person?
No.
Did you ever see him threaten anybody with that knife?
No.
Now, you previously said that you didn't observe a firearm on Adreian or in the vehicle. Is that right?
Correct.
Did you, and I know this is going to seem like I'm not trying to embarrass you or anything, but did you take a firearm and hide it at some point during this incident?
Leading, Your Honor.
Overruled. It's a yes or no answer.
No.
Okay. And did you remain in the area of the vehicle until law enforcement arrived on scene?
Yes.
And at some point in the early morning of May 9th, did you ultimately speak with law enforcement?
Yes.
And did you remain on scene to do that?
Yes.
Your Honor, I don't have any further questions at this time.
Cross.
Yes, Your Honor, briefly, if I may.
Good.
Good morning. How you doing, Ms. Walker?
Good morning.
Today? I'm just trying to follow up with some things that you're just saying on direct. I'm not trying to trip you up. I know this is a very sensitive situation for you. Isn't it true that when the initial verbal altercation occurred between Mr. Dority and your boyfriend, Adreian Payne, you were not present at the scene physically?
I pulled up. I was driving up.
Isn't it true Mr. Payne was on the scene before you were, correct?
Correct.
Right. And by the time you were pulling up, you had began to hear communication that you believe was the voice of Mr. Dority, correct?
Correct. I believe him
Okay.
and Adrian had a conversation.
Isn't it true you had actually told Adreian Payne not to come to that house, correct?
Correct.
And the type of vehicle you was driving was an Audi Q5, right?
Correct.
After you told Adrian not to come, he told you, no, I'm on my way. I'm already there. I'm on the I-4, getting off the I-4. I'm on my way. I'm almost there, right?
He said he was coming off of the 408
408, I'm sorry.
and that he would meet me there.
Okay. But he didn't, in fact, meet you there. He was already there when you arrived, correct?
Correct.
At some point, when you pulled up, you previously testified that you saw Mr. Dority's father present at the scene as well, right?
Correct.
And when you
Hearing more testimony about the night of the shooting where Adreian Payne was killed back in May of 2022, we are going to get ready to take a break here on Fox 35 News Plus. But when we come back, we will get you back inside the courtroom here as we are hearing more testimony from Adreian Payne's girlfriend talking about what happened that night. Again, Lawrence Dority, charged with second-degree murder. This is his trial. He's accused of killing former Magic player Adreian Payne in May of 2022. He's claiming self-defense. Hearing more testimony about that night. We'll
So after Mr. Dority, Lawrence Dority, fired one shot in the direction of Mr. Payne, it's your testimony that Larry Dority, Lawrence's father, told you to run, right?
Yes, sir.
And we previously saw that video that was just showed. It wasn't just you running, right? It was a little 10-year-old boy running as well, right?
Correct.
So it's fair to say it was Mr. Dority's, Lawrence's son was outside during this incident, right?
He was inside of the vehicle.
He was outside the house, correct?
Correct.
Okay. And let's get this straight. Did Mr. Adreian Payne live there?
Where?
At the location he was supposed to meet you at?
No.
Did he live there? Okay. Did Tatiana Mesa, Mr. Dority's girlfriend, did she invite him over there?
She invited me.
Did she invite Adreian Payne there?
No, she invited me.
Thank you. You stated that it took some time for law enforcement to arrive at the scene, right? It felt like forever?
Correct.
At some point, you walked over to the passenger side of this Chevy Malibu and entered the vehicle, right?
Correct.
And it's your testimony that you entered it to straighten up Mr. Payne's head?
Correct.
You said you started compressions as well?
With Larry, yes.
At some point, isn't it true that you left the scene at some point, but your brother picked you up, right?
I left around 7 a.m. after they told me I could leave.
Before 7 a.m., you had left the scene too, correct?
No.
You never went to Mr. Larry Dority's house?
I was after 7 a.m.
That was after 7 a.m.?
Yes.
Your car was still at the scene?
Correct.
Your brother came and picked you up, right?
At 7 a.m.?
That's how you left the scene. Your brother came to pick you up?
Yeah, he came at 2 o'clock in the morning.
He came at what time?
2 a.m.
He came at 2 o'clock in the morning?
Mm-hmm.
And you didn't leave till 7?
Correct.
So your brother was on the scene for 5 hours with you?
Correct.
What kind of car did your brother drive?
At that time,
Yes, ma'am.
BMW?
Wasn't it true someone else came to the scene as well? Was it your father?
Correct.
Around what time did he arrive?
3, maybe?
Okay. This was after you had entered the vehicle to straighten Mr. Payne's head, correct?
Correct.
And although you had a vehicle, an Audi, right? You left with your brother, right?
Correct.
And this kitchen knife that was in the car, it was in that vehicle for 4 months, you said?
Yes, roughly.
Because you used to drive that vehicle, right?
Correct.
So that would explain how Mr. Dority may have been somewhat familiar with the vehicle at some point.
Correct.
I know this sounds like a very ignorant question, and pardon my ignorance, But it was fair to say you love Mr. Payne, right?
Correct.
You wouldn't want him to have a bad name, would you?
No.
It's true, you would do anything to protect his name, right?
What do you mean by anything?
Is that fair? Would you?
No, not necessarily.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Can you redirect?
Yes, Your Honor. So at any point from when you first arrived on scene and you saw Adrian's vehicle up until the moment he was shot, did you ever observe Adrian set foot on the defendant's property?
No.
Now, by the time the defendant came back out with the firearm in this case, was Adrian already back in his car?
Correct.
And at the time, in the moments before Adrian was shot, did he have a weapon?
No.
And did you witness him make any threats to the defendant at that time?
No.
And were you in a position that if he would have made such threats, you would have heard them?
Yes.
I don't have any further questions.
All right. Step down.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Thank you, ma'am. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're just a little bit past noon, so we're going to take our break for lunch. You're free to go about your business for lunch. Just same rules apply. Please don't do any research, looking up of any names, maps, any investigation on your own. Also, if you happen to see myself or any of the parties or anybody else involved in the case and we don't pay attention to you, that's because they've been instructed not to have any contact with you since you are the members of the jury. And we want to make sure that there's no appearance of any impropriety, okay? I'm going to have you all come back at 1:30. That'll give you a little time to get out of the building, try and find some place to eat, and then get back in to the building. We'll be ready to go sharply at 1:30. So once you all are assembled in the jury room, we'll bring you back in and get started, okay? Enjoy your lunch.
All right.
All right, have a seat. Before we adjourn for lunch, anything from the state?
Nothing from the state.
Defense? Just for